Happy Labor Day and welcome to Weather for Weather Geeks as we head into the month of September. I hope you're having a good day off if you're lucky enough to have the day off. And the weather today, okay. It's not exactly a bright, sunny, beautiful day, but we do have a mix of sun and clouds, and it's warm, it's humid, but so far so good in terms of wet weather. I'm recording this just before 2 o'clock p.m., and just a mix of sun and clouds around northeast Ohio and western Pennsylvania right now. We do have a couple of showers down around Zanesville and Cambridge, and then heading down towards Athens, down into some of the hills of southeast Ohio. No lightning and thunder with this at the moment. And then we have some showers and storms. These look a little beefier out in Michigan. We've got a line of pretty hefty storms there around Grand Rapids, and then we run into some possible severe weather up in northern Michigan this afternoon, severe thunderstorm watch for what they call in Michigan up north, which is the northern part of Michigan. We are not expecting any severe weather here, but we could see a thunderstorm towards the very end of the day today. I'm not convinced much happens before then, although there could be a stray shower or storm. We'll talk about the models in just a second and what they have to say. Take a look at the nation on the holiday. It's pretty quiet aside from the cluster of storms up in Michigan this afternoon. It is warm in a lot of places. Let's bring up the temperature chart here, the contours, and we've got a lot of 90s down in the deep south as you would expect, so on September 1st. And we've got 70s and 80s around much of the Ohio Valley and into western Pennsylvania. Here's the dew points. Yeah, they're way up there. It's muggy outside. It's not a stiflingly hot day, but dew points are, well up into the upper 60s to around 70, and that is a muggy air mass. And that's going to provide some of the fuel for those possible storms towards the end of the day today and heading into the night tonight. Before I get into the future, real quickly, a review of the past is on my weather blog, ericwfmj.com. I posted this morning. It's a review of what we call meteorological summer, which is the warmest 3 months of the year, climatologically speaking. That's June, July, and August. Of course, astronomical summer has more to do with the Earth's position in its orbit around the sun and the relative tilt of the Earth's axis to the sun, and that runs, of course, from about June 20th, 21st through about September 20th, 21st. But meteorological summer is what most meteorologists and weather enthusiasts like to look at as a 3-month period to kind of see where we were. And some of the answers might surprise you, some of the stats. Be sure and check that out, ericwfmj.com. You can find the link also on my Facebook and Twitter from this morning. All right, now let's go into the future and see what's going to happen for the rest of this Labor Day. As I mentioned, I'm not convinced much happens, precipitation-wise, for the rest of the daylight hours, but we might have to deal with something stray. I'm going to bring up the latest high-resolution rapid refresh model. This is our highest resolution, most short-term model that we use. It only goes out to about hour 15 into the future, and it updates once an hour, and it does self-correct, and what we mean by that is it takes a look at what's actually happening, and the next time it runs, takes that into account. This is the simulated radar product for 5 p.m. this evening. Not much is going to be out there. I can't rule out that your backyard, if you're having a picnic or something late this afternoon, a cookout, I can't rule out that you get a quick downpour, but that's going to be the exception, not the rule. Most of us will be dry through the end of the afternoon and into early this evening. That line of storms up in Michigan by 5 p.m. will be approaching Detroit and down towards Toledo as well, but that's pretty far away from us at 5 p.m. Let's go a couple of hours into the future to 7 p.m. By this point, the Indians game up in Cleveland should be about wrapping up, and I suspect they get in that game dry. Again, can't rule out some quick shower, but most of it should be dry. Big series for the Indians starting at 4:05 against the Tigers later on this afternoon. But anyway, here across the Mahoning and Shenango Valleys at 7 p.m., again, maybe there's something stray, but most of us aren't seeing much at 7 p.m. We go ahead a couple of hours to 9 p.m., and the rapid refresh model does bring that Michigan line all the way south and east, keeps it intact, although I'm sure it'll be weakening some at this point as this will be after sunset. But if it were to be right, if this model were to be right, we could get a quick, gusty line of showers with embedded thunder, maybe around 9, 10, 11 o'clock this evening. Not sure if this model is right, though. It might be a little overdone with things. Why do I say that? Well, here's the NAM model. Not quite as high resolution and high tech as the rapid refresh, but it doesn't really have the same idea. Here's 8 o'clock this evening on the NAM. It's got a couple of spotty things around, but not that nice-looking line coming through. It sort of dissipates that line. Now, if we rewind all the way to the current time as I'm recording this, the NAM model is a little underdone up in Michigan with that line, but it has it in about the right spot. And then it takes it, as we fast forward here, it takes it across the northern half of Michigan, but doesn't really show much developing on the southern flank of that. So we've got a little model war going on here. The next couple of hours will be key to see how this progresses, to see which model ends up being right. Will that line extend and then keep together as it comes through Ohio, or will it do as the NAM says and not really hold together in a real organized fashion? That will determine how much rain we see later this evening. But what I want you to take away from this is late this afternoon into early this evening, if you've got a cookout plan or doing something outdoors, again, I can't rule out that your backyard gets a quick shower, but it'll be quick, it'll be passing. Most of us will stay dry. Now let's head into tomorrow, because tomorrow becomes a little more interesting. We do have an enhanced risk of severe weather tomorrow, because we do have a cold front, albeit a fairly weak one, heading our way. This is at 11 in the morning, not much going on at this point, but as we get into the afternoon tomorrow, the atmosphere is going to be pretty juicy, and with this front plowing into that juicy air, look what happens here early in the afternoon. Thunderstorms start erupting out towards I-71 and I-77. Here's at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and this is when our window's really opening for some hefty gusty storms. End of the afternoon into early tomorrow evening. So this is 4 p.m. Let's go forward another hour here to, here's 5 p.m. So I think we're looking at somewhere between, say, 3:30 and maybe 6:30 as a window of maybe some hefty storms with the possibility of hail and damaging winds. The Storm Prediction Center tomorrow does have us in the enhanced risk, the yellow area here, for severe weather. As far as the percentages, a 15% contour here covering most of our viewing area. That means a 15% chance that within 25 miles of any spot in that yellow area, there's a 15% chance of seeing some type of severe weather, whether it be hail an inch or larger or wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or greater. All right, so we're going to be keeping an eye to the sky tomorrow afternoon and into early tomorrow evening for the possibility of some storms. Once we get past tomorrow, a couple of nice days coming up Wednesday and Thursday. Here's Wednesday, nothing going on. The humidity will come down. Wednesday looks like a nice day. I think Thursday is a little warmer, somewhat more humid, but dry. Anything holds off until Thursday night, and that won't be much. But then Friday, our next front's approaching from the north, and ahead of it, the heat's going to surge back in, and we've got a shot at 88, 89, maybe even 90 Friday afternoon, depending on the cloud cover, depending on if any sneaky storms come in. But if the day as a whole is dry and it's reasonably sunny, it could be just about as warm as Saturday was. We got up to 87 on Saturday. We could even best that by a degree or two on Friday. But then the weekend's going to feel a lot different, I think. This is Saturday. There's still some model differences on the speed of this front, how fast it clears us. The GFS, which I'm showing here, suggests Saturday's a pretty rainy day. And if that's true, it's also a much cooler day. We might struggle to get out of the 60s on Saturday after spending Friday in the upper 80s. Other models are faster with the front. Saturday, no matter which way you slice, it's going to be cooler than Friday, but does it rain all day or is it out of here in the morning? Those are still questions we don't quite know the answer to, so we'll be updating that forecast throughout the week. As far as long-term temperatures, again, it warms up middle of the week. After that, cooler weather for the weekend. And beyond that, I think we spend a lot of time pretty close to average, which is in the upper 70s during the first couple of weeks of September, although those averages are falling quickly during September. By the end of the month, our average high is about 66 degrees, so this is definitely a transitional month. Well, thank you for watching this kind of extended version of Weather for Weather Geeks on this Labor Day. Have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to seeing you tonight on 21 News at 6 and 11.